Hello everyone and welcome back to the tutorial Lights, Camera and Rendering of Maya software, and this is the part B. So we will learn in this section how we will be applying creating cameras inside Maya and how to work with the cameras and how a rendering setup can be helpful for us when we are using it. Okay, and before moving that, let's do one thing here. Let's see how we can manipulate a light. So we have studied all the different kind of lights in the last lesson, but in this lesson, just in this small part, I will tell you there is an option called light manipulator. So now, which is really important because it can give you a very good result, plus you can be very creative when using this light manipulator. Suppose if I want to rotate this light, what is happening? It is going off my target. Now, where is my target? My target is there, here, because usually in the spotlights you should have a target. So this is my target. So what is basically a light manipulator? Okay, to access the light manipulator, you have to go to modify option here. Okay, inside the modify option, you have transform tools. In the transform tools here, you have show manipulator tool. Okay, so if you click on the show manipulator tool, you will get a manipulator on your screen. You can see that here. And this manipulator, whenever you apply, it comes with a target. Now this target initially where it is somewhere attached here. So you can see this blue box. This is the target basically. So if I move around this, okay, this target, so what I can do is that I can move it down and I have to find where is my target. So basically it's here. So I will place this target on the target which I have on the scene. Now it is on wherever I want this manipulator to be. Okay, now here it shows me the direction of it, so don't worry about this part. Now what we need to do is that we just have to move the light. So if I'm moving the light, see what is happening on the screen. It is always stick to my target. So if I move here or here, okay, I just have to make sure I don't go off the room, otherwise I will not be able to see it. Suppose if I will go here, so it will block the light. Okay, that you have to make sure you don't do that. You always have to see it in the room. So this target, this manipulator, what it is doing is that it is sticked. It's kind of a it got stuck to my target and it's not moving. It's pretty much stuck to my target and it's not moving, you know, out like from it. And when I'm moving my light, it is, you know, like it's like a string which is attached to the light, and the light is only falling on that target. Okay, so wherever I move, it is stringed. There is a string attached to that target. Okay, so this is how the manipulator helps you. So you can select any one of the targets, especially when you're using a spotlight. Now let's see how to apply camera inside our Maya scene. Actually, right now we do have a camera. If I will go in my outliner, you can see I have perspective camera, I have top camera, I have front, and I have side camera. Okay, so these are the default cameras that are given to you by Maya, but usually they are hidden, so we keep it hidden. Okay, we can make a new camera as well. Now, how to make a new camera? Again, to create anything, you have to go to the create option, and here we have the camera. Now we have these different kind of cameras here. We have multi-stereo rig, stereo camera, camera aim and up, camera and aim. Basically, camera and aim and up is basically like the light manipulator, which I just showed you a moment ago. So there will be a target and our camera will be only focusing on that target. Okay, but I want a normal camera. As soon as I will click it, it will give me a camera here. I can rename this to short cam or whatever camera name I want. So I will rename it the short cam, and let me turn it off. Okay, so you can see I have here a short cam. Okay, and now I'm working inside. I can go to panel perspective and choose the short cam. Okay, so now once I will press the short cam, you will see my scene became a bit weird. If I will go to all panel layout here, and a little bit zoom out, okay, and you can see I can see everything here, okay, but here let me change it to short cam. Okay, now except for here I have some problem, some issue here. Now what is this issue? It's not a big issue. Okay, the thing is, let me go here into show or hide outliner, and I can select my short cam here. Now when I select the short cam and press the moving tool, you can see that my camera is here, which is quite smaller. Let me do one thing. Take the scaling tool and make it a little bigger, so it will only make the icon bigger. Okay, now I can clearly see my camera. Okay, now the camera, you can see it's on the ground. Here also you can see it's on the ground. Okay, so that is why I am not able to see anything, because it is on the ground. What if I move it a little bit back? Okay, from the side you can see that the camera is moving back, and if I move it up, so you can see now I'm able to see more clearly. Okay, now I can go back to this viewport, and I can move back like I used to do before. I can orbit around, and you can see that while I'm doing that, the camera is changing in all these directions or in all these viewports. Okay, because when you change any view like here or here, okay, it actually is changing your camera. So if I orbit around, you can see the camera orbits. Okay, if I zoom it out, you can see the camera is moving. So basically whatever changes I do here by using my alt key, my right button to zoom in and zoom out, okay, my left button to orbit around, okay, and my middle mouse button with the alt key to pan around. So if I move down, you can see like what is happening. Okay, if I move up, so you can see on all these viewports how it is working. So I hope now it is clear how the camera actually works. Okay, so this is how the camera is there. So I will go back here, and I want only one scene here. Okay, make sure that you are in the short cam. Okay, sometimes what happens when you go back and forth to different viewports, it changes your perspective. Okay, so right now I'm in the short cam. Okay, now my short cam is selected, and you can see I have a different kind of settings here for my camera. I have camera controls here. I can change it to any other camera I want, but I wanted to keep it a normal camera. The first thing, the very important thing over here is the focal length. Right now it's the 35 mm focal length, which is basically very common in all the cameras. Okay, so if you increase it, your focal length becomes more lens. Okay, like it will become zoomed in and zoomed in, and like a photo tele lens, which is a zooming in lens. If I will reduce it, it will become more wide angled. Okay, like suppose if I will change it to 55. Okay, so you can see that as soon I will change it to 55, it zooms in because the focal length of the lens is changed. The camera didn't zoomed in, the lens got changed. Now if I will zoom in and zoom out, so you can see that it's kind of look like little flat. Okay, not too much, but it looks flatter than the 35 like the 35 mm like focal length. Suppose if I will increase it more, what if I will make it 250 or something like that? And because now it's completely changed, it is a very high photo tele lens. If I zoom out, you will notice that it looks more and more flatter now. Okay, so if it is 35, and let me zoom in, it's not flat, you have a little bit perspective here. What if I reduce it, okay, maybe to something like 5, and then I zoom in, you can see that it's kind of look like a fish eye. Okay, it's more look like a very wide angle one. Maybe it's too much, maybe 18. So still you can see in 18, it kind of look like it's a fish eye sort of like lens. So you can play with these lenses. What I suggest is that you can go on Google, and what kind of scene you are making, search the best focal length for that scene, like best focal length for portrait, best focal length for interior design, best focal length for exterior design. So it will give you that, and you will simply like feed in, and you can have the result. So angle of view pretty much changes when you change the focal length, so you don't have to worry about that much. Okay, even this one, the camera scale, you don't have to worry about. Now here is the clipping plane. Okay, what is the clipping? Right now it is I'm on the auto render clipping. Okay, let me turn it off. So there is a near clip and there is a far clip. Near clip, if I go near, you can see that I can easily able to see my scene. Okay, it's very clear, like nothing is happening wrong, even if I go far away. But what if, okay, let's not play with the near clip plane. Wait, let's play with this far clip. If I make it very less, like maybe 10, so you will notice that if 10 I think is too less, maybe make it 100. So if you will see, I'm able to see everything when I'm closer, but as soon I'm going far, you can see that it is becoming transparent because it is clipping out. Okay, so in order to avoid this, you should have a very high value here. Okay, like the one I can add more 0 to it. Okay, so it will be a higher value, or if you can turn it on the auto, but sometimes it does not work, so just type a higher value. So if I go more far away, still it will be same. So this is what does the clipping do. Now let's go down here. We have here precision display control, so you don't have to worry about this one because it just gives you like a wireframe when you are clipping near and far. Now film back is basically pretty much like a physical camera settings. So right now we are using default settings that are here, but you can change it to any preset. Like suppose if you want an effect of a 35mm like anamorphic camera, if you want a IMAX camera effect, so you can choose these, and it will change accordingly. Okay, so let's go to the depth of field here. Now this depth of field is basically for the Maya renderer. Okay, it's not for any other renderer. Every other renderer comes with its own depth of field, but this one is for Maya renderer. Now what is the depth of field? If you know about photography, so there is a depth of field. The things which are closer are more clear, and things which are far away are blurry. Okay, or sometimes some closer things are blurry and far away things are are like clear. So it all depends on the aperture of your camera. So that you can turn it on from here. Like if I can turn it on the depth of field, you will start seeing things are getting a little blurry. So right now my f-stop, like my aperture is 5.6. If I will decrease it, we can see that it's becoming more and more blurry. Okay, and so focus distance, okay, I will keep it as it is. Maybe I will make it more lesser. I cannot go less than that, but you can see that it is like very much on the not clear. If I zoom in, okay, like here, now you can see it is getting clear. Okay, and the things which are far away are basically still blurry. Okay, so this is how you can change it. Maybe I can increase it, decrease it for this kind of result. Okay, but I don't want to keep it. I don't want that effect. Okay, so this is how it will work. Okay, and this is the depth of field of Maya renderer. Now, other thing here is the environment settings, and you have output settings. You don't have to worry about output like settings. More of these are basically pretty much by default already set up, so you don't have to change any one of these. Here in the environment, what is the environment basically? If you render anything, okay, like suppose I want to render this scene, okay, if I go here, okay, open render view, and I don't want to render the software, I want to render with the hardware, okay, and I will choose the my this scene, which is basically my short camera, okay. So I have to go here in the rendering option, then I have to go to render short cam, and as soon as I press on it, you can see that it is rendered, okay, the whole thing. And just notice that the background here is black, okay. If I change it to blue and then render it, you can see it is blue, okay. If I change it to something else, maybe I will change it to yellow and render it, and it will become yellow. So this is what the how you can change the like background or anything here. So let me close this one. Other than that, what you can do, one thing you can do here is to create an image plane. Now, what is the image plane? Instead of a single color, you can apply a background image to it. Like suppose if I press create here, you can see there is a yellow box here, okay. I can then here it will show you what image you want. So I can click here and choose whatever image I want. So maybe I can choose from here. I have this image, okay, like a cloud sort of image here. If I press open, so you can see I have a cloud in that yellow box which was appearing before. So now if I zoom around or like rotate around anything, what I will do, it will always stay there. It is now my new background, and if I want to render it, okay, I will be able to I will be able to see that here as well, okay. Now in actual, what it is, this is not a background, it's a image or a plane which is attached to my camera. Now to see it better, I can go to my plane layout, okay, and turn on the texturing on all of these parts, okay. Okay, so just leave it that way. Now if you will see that there is a like a dark line over here, can you see that here, okay, and as well here you can see there is a plane over here. So if I move my camera around, okay, so you can see that is basically changing around. Let me do one thing here. Let me go to the short cam view here, okay, and if I zoom out, move around, okay, so you can see here this is my camera is here. So it basically changes that. Now to see better, what you can do is that this one, let me make it normal perspective view, okay, and move it a little bit here. Now if I zoom around, you can see there is a planer which appears here. Can you see that? So this is that plane object which is kind of attached to my scene, okay. So if I go to the side view here and move around, you can see that planar object is kind of attached to my camera. So this is why it is moving. So if I will select this, if I will go back here, okay, so you can see that I have this short cam here, and this is my plane, okay, which is basically selected here. Sorry, okay, this is the one. So if you will select this plane and press delete on your keyboard, it will be gone. Okay, now let me go back to my shotgun. So this is how you can apply a planar to your object. Okay, so pretty much the cameras work like this using the Maya software renderer, and a lot of these settings you can find it here in the attribute editor of your cameras, and you can set it up. Okay, you can experiment with the camera and see how you can do a different kind of settings and rendering and every other thing here. Okay, so this is how pretty much the camera works. So this is the end of part B of lights, camera and render for Maya software. Next lesson will be about the light editor and render setups, okay, and some other parts like batch rendering. Okay, so next lesson we will move to part C and we will learn these things in that lesson.